Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, we are going to be talking about if it is possible to daily drive a turbo Integra / Honda. So before I start this video, I just want to make a couple points before. So the first one is that I've only been able to drive my turbo Integra for the last 2 weeks. So this is based off of my experience in the last 2 weeks. I've probably only driven it, I don't know, 5-6 times tops in that amount of time. I actually probably drove it the most yesterday, and I'll just go ahead and tell you guys right now, my setup is pretty dang painful, and I don't know if I'd be able to daily drive it. But with that out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into this. I'm gonna find a little seat to sit down in here. I know my garage is still messy, and I am still actually working on my little B18 block. I haven't given up on it. This is for a little table. I'm keeping the main caps just in case I do end up wanting to build this in the future. So yeah, I'm still cleaning that off. It's still a little bit messy over here, and I still want to paint the valve cover as well. Also, if anybody needs a B18 B1 head, I have everything in there, even the camshaft, so hit me up if you guys need that. But hopefully we'll be able to finish the table in the next coming weeks here, because it's honestly gonna be sick, and I think you guys are really gonna like it. All right, guys, so here we go. I got a little list here of things and points that I want to make throughout the video. In the classic spot, I'm always in this spot when I make these kinds of videos. Honestly, I would do it in my Integra, but it's just, I don't know, it's kind of hard to figure out where to put the camera, especially with this one. Like when I used to record with my iPhone, I would just put it on the windshield, but this one, it's a little bit harder to find places to mount it and get it to stay in the right place. So that's why I'm just gonna go ahead and do the video in here, and I won't feel as rushed because when I'm in the car it gets super hot. So yeah, let's jump straight into this. Is it possible to daily drive a turbo Integra / Honda? Obviously yes it is, but I do want to put some points out there, and this might change your mind and kind of make you rethink wanting to daily drive a turbo Integra / Honda. So this first one is a huge one, and it is a reliability issue. Now, I haven't had any issues with mine, but honestly, if I started daily driving it and relying it to get me to and from work or to and from school, I'd most likely run into a problem somewhere. So it is kind of really important that you have a reliable daily driver, because otherwise, what if you get stuck and you have to be to work on time, or you got to be somewhere on time and you don't have another car? So that's definitely a big one, and something to think about as well when thinking about daily driving a turbo Honda. Now the second one here might not apply to all setups, but just to recap, if you guys haven't seen my channel, I have a 3-inch full exhaust that goes from the turbo all the way back just to a vibrant performance muffler. No cat, no resonators or anything like that. So it is very loud, and it's hard to get in and out places without being seen, or just dropping your friends off late at night. It's kind of hard to do because you're gonna wake up the whole neighborhood. It's super loud, especially with the stage 5 clutch. You kind of have to give it a little more gas than you normally would on a normal clutch. But like I said, that might not be an issue with everybody's setup. It might not be as noisy as mine, but it definitely does make the ride uncomfortable too when I'm in the car. Just trying to listen to music, I had to crank it up a lot louder than normal. And also when I'm trying to have conversations in the car, it's pretty hard to keep it at a normal level, and you kind of feel like you're yelling the whole time. Now I know there's going to be some people out there that are going to say that their car is already noisy, and it's not necessarily something that would prevent you from daily driving a turbo Integra, but it definitely is something that would bother me after a while of driving the car. Now this third one is also a big one, that depending on where you live, depending if it's even legal to have a turbo in your state, but most likely even if it's not, you're probably going to get in trouble with it in some way or somehow, depending on if you're always just going hard on it, if you're trying to race people. But honestly, if I drove that thing every day, I would probably get caught sooner or later. And it's not something I just really want to deal with, because I spent all this money putting it into the car, and then you get pulled over, they tell you to pop the hood, and it's just kind of like game over from there. So personally for me, where I live, I don't think I would want to daily drive it just because of that reason alone. Because I mean, that thing is 350 horsepower. It is pretty quick. It's not like the quickest Honda you'll ever see, but it honestly does pick up and go, and it does draw attention. So moving on to the fourth thing here is that E85 burns quicker. Now, not everybody's going to be running E85. I already know that. Some people are going to be running different gases. For anybody that wants to make that little extra power gain, I'm pretty sure they're going to be running the E85. And in my experience, it does burn quicker than normal gas. And another thing about E85 is, personally for me, the only gas station that sells it is literally 15 minutes away from my house. so I would have to work that into my schedule. If I had to go get gas, I'd have to drive up there, make sure I have enough gas to get up there. But I do have some extra cans like you guys saw in my video, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I can only hold like 10 gallons at home, and it's kind of just a pain to only be able to go to that one gas station, and that's the only one that has your gas. But it just depends where you live. If it's right near your house, who cares? It's really not that big of a deal. Now moving on into the fifth thing here is that the clutch is definitely more stiff than the normal one. So I have a stage 5 action clutch in there. You know, it's a little bit harder to drive, it's easier to stall out, you have to be a little bit more careful, and it's a little bit harder on your leg. So that kind of is a pain to deal with, but it's definitely manageable. You can do it. It just takes time to get used to, but it grips super well, so you're never gonna have to worry about your clutch slipping at all. So it's kind of like a pro and a con at the same time. Now moving on into the sixth one here is that if you have upgraded engine mounts, which you're probably gonna do when you do a turbo build, because you don't want your whole car shaking around in there, and it's gonna be producing more power. So I got the innovative, it's the black mounts. They're not solid, but if you have solid engine mounts, your whole car is gonna vibrate like crazy. Like the ones that I have in there, they're rubber still, and it still makes the car vibrate really crazy. If you have any change, like in the little change thing, it just vibrates the whole time. It gets really annoying, so I have to pour it out. Just if there's anything loose in the car, it's gonna vibrate and it's gonna get really annoying really quick. So moving on to the seventh and final one here is that the fumes from the exhaust get to you pretty quick. Now honestly, I do like the smell of E85. It does smell pretty good. But honestly, when you're sitting at a stoplight, especially since I don't have a catalytic converter, which most of you guys aren't going to be running on your turbo cars, it really does get smelly, and it's just it's really bad for you basically, and it's going to make your head hurt. And just if you have to drive that thing long distances, or if you're stopping and going in traffic all the time, it's really gonna get annoying. So that is basically all the bad things that I could say about daily driving a turbo. If you guys have any more, leave it down in the comments below. But that's the only things that I have gotten so far out of driving my car. So like I said, if you guys have any more, put them in the comments down below. But honestly, there's tons of pros and tons of great things about daily driving a Honda. I'm in a turbo Integra or Honda. And I mean, the first one is obvious. Nobody's gonna be expecting it. They're gonna think, oh, he just has another slow Honda, but then you pull up and you just blow them out of the water, and they're just like, what the heck? So I definitely do think it will get you some respect on the streets, and people are not gonna be expecting it at all. And there's plenty of times where there's that one guy on the freeway that cuts you off or like flies by thinking he's all cool, and then you could just catch up to him real quick in your turbo Honda and just show him who's boss basically. Because once again, they're not going to be expecting it. They're not going to think that your car is anything at all. They're going to think, wow, it's just like another slow Honda. But little did they know, you got that turb ski in there and you are gonna whoop them. Now I'm not gonna go through all these because you guys already know there's tons of great things about daily driving a turbo Integra slash Honda. So I'm not gonna go over all those because you guys could probably figure out those for yourself. But to answer the question, is it possible to daily drive a turbo Integra or Honda? And it obviously is yes, but all those factors, like the cons, the bad things about it, do you want to deal with that every day? Personally, for me, no. I'm pretty fortunate to have my mom let me borrow her car for now until I save up to get another car. So luckily, I'm not stuck having to daily drive the Integra, because this is another con for me. My intercooler is mounted super low and it scrapes on literally everything, and I'm really worried that it's gonna get torn off. Now I'm probably just gonna have to buy a separate intercooler, but that's not gonna be for everybody, obviously. So yeah guys, I'm pretty sure that answers the question right there. Now I know a lot of you guys are wondering where all the driving videos of the Integra are. Those are coming up. I have a little video of my dad in the car. Also, I want to get a reaction from my mom as well. I tried to do some more videos yesterday of driving it around. I only got one. I probably put it in the beginning of this video, possibly. I don't really know. I'll probably just put it in the beginning. But if not, I'll put it in right here. But yeah guys, don't worry. Later on the channel, we'll get some more videos of it driving around, possibly even doing some races as well, just to see what it could actually beat, what it can keep up with. And I really want to race my friend with his Challenger, so we'll see what happens with that. It's probably going to be a pretty good race, to be honest. I also want to race my friend with the 350Z. there's tons of things I want to do with it, obviously. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already to follow the turbo build. Anyways, it's done, but we're probably going to be doing some more things to the Integra shortly here. And like I said, I'm kind of trying to save up for another car right now, so I'm not going to do too many more crazy mods to the Integra just because of that alone. But yeah guys, with that said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out guys.